Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. And once again, this is the one-day chart. We're sitting here at $2.29. XRP dipped with the rest of the market today. And people are wondering, how the hell did that happen with that Canary Spot XRP ETF going live? I'm going to explain how it happened in this video. Look at Bitcoin back down under 100K. And right now, everybody's wondering if it's over for Bitcoin. Is it going to go below 50K? I still think Bitcoin is going to rebound. And when it does, it's going to pull the rest of the market up with it. I think it has one more push up before it comes crashing down. This comes from eGreg, so Bitcoin Spot ETF. What if history repeats itself, but this time with XRP? When Bitcoin got its spot ETF, it first dumped 20%, then pumped 91%, and finally exploded 230% from the launch point. Now, if that was to happen for XRP, we would be looking at a $6 plus XRP. And that could very well play out from here. You got to remember, this was just day one. If you're still asking why it didn't affect the price, understand how the ETF process works. Tomorrow, the net inflows will be handed over to purchase the asset. What I'm saying is the ETFs are about to start going on a buying spree that will not stop once they start. And you see it right here, capital allocation. The money from the sale of these new ETF shares is given to the ETF sponsor, who then uses that capital to purchase more of the underlying assets. So tomorrow, Canary is going to buy a massive amount of XRP. Now, a lot of people are saying there goes all the supply on the exchanges. But I asked Grok where this XRP is going to come from. Will Canary buy their XRP from over-the-counter or exchanges? So ETF structure and process, they're going to buy it over the counter. Public exchanges like Coinbase or Binance could cause volatility with high volume buys. So issuers like Canary partner with over-the-counter desk to buy that XRP. Now, will that affect the price of XRP? Understanding over-the-counter buys and their impact on the XRP price. So in short, directly no, but indirectly yes, and often in a bullish way for long-term holders. Here's a breakdown. No direct impact. Over-the-counter buys don't hit public order books, so they avoid slippage. Sudden price swings from large orders flooding exchanges. This keeps XRP spot price stable in the short term, which is why institutions prefer over-the-counter. It's efficient for bulk purchases without spiking costs. For example, Ripple's escrow releases, about 200 million XRP net per month, are often sold over-the-counter, reducing visible selling pressure on exchanges. Now, longer term, this can really impact the price of XRP. So reduce supply pressure. When institutions buy over the counter, they lock up XRP for utility, removing it from circulating supply available to retail traders. This can create a supply shock over time, especially if adoption grows. Recent examples include companies like Vivo Power and others pivoting to XRP as a treasury asset, absorbing 20% of monthly escrow supply each. Increased demand signal, high over-the-counter volume signals institutional confidence, which can boost retail sentiment and exchange buying. Data shows over-the-counter sales by Ripple have shifted towards operational partners, not speculators, tying XRP to real-world use cases like remittances. Historical context. During Ripple's SEC case, over-the-counter sales were scrutinized, but didn't suppress prices as much as programmatic sales. Post-ruling, Ripple phased out traditional over-the-counter for on-demand liquidity-focused sales, which balance buys and sells, but still favor holders via utility demand. Here's what it's going to happen. So we know right now they're buying over the counter. Now remember, Ripple is holding 36.5 billion XRP. But that XRP cannot go into circulation until its release date. And we know every month 1 billion tokens get unlocked. So are the over-the-counter sellers also going to run out of XRP? We really don't know. And then I asked how much XRP is left for sale over the counter. And right away they cited the escrow. But we don't know how this is going to affect the price of XRP. Short term, I think it's still going to push the price up. I don't think it's going to have a massive impact early on. Now, give it a couple of weeks, and all those other ETFs start going live, and all of a sudden, we have a scarcity issue for XRP. Even Cobb said, tell me how XRP isn't teleporting to $4 in November. So you see right there, there's 18 ETFs. Now, we already know Canary went live. So there's 17 more that are going to go live, one after another. And they're also going to have to buy and hold XRP as well. So I could see scarcity happening sooner than people think. And a lot of people right now are disappointed, but I think over the next week or two, they're not going to be so disappointed. I think we're going to see $4 in November for XRP, and that's on the conservative side. I think we could possibly go into price discovery and possibly even push higher towards 2 digits. And Brad Garlinghouse says it's finally happening. And you see Eric Balakunas, XRPC at 26 million in volume in the first 30 minutes. Wow, gonna blow away my 17 million guess. Has good shot at beating B Souls. $57 million as the biggest day one of any launch this year. And of course, XRP's ETF went on to beat B Souls in the end, by the end of the day. So this was a huge day for XRP holders. It gave us an idea on where we go from here. Because, like I said, this is just day one, and we have a lot of ETFs to go. Take a listen to this.
We'll talk more about the trading activity thus far in XRPC. Obviously, it's very early. We're recording this not long after the market opened, but what does the initial trading look like so far?
Yeah, so far in the first 15 minutes, we've seen about 20 million in volume, and we expect a lot more. One of the things that won't show up in volume is in kind, and we can talk a little bit more about that if you want. But now that in kind has opened up for crypto ETFs, you won't see that in volume, but you'll see it in end of day AUM.
I think today was a huge day, and people could be fudding on it all they want. Oh, I thought XRP was going to be skyrocketing today. They don't realize how this is going to impact XRP month over month. It's going to sink in once XRP starts to break out, because then you're going to have retail FOMO as well. You have institutional demand, retail FOMO, and XRP disappearing. We all know what that leads to. Much higher prices for XRP. Expert shows how XRP ETFs could add $1 trillion to XRP market cap after launch. And this, he's not factoring in what we're going to see over a period of time. This is just short term. So going into 2026, after these ETFs are live for a few months, you're going to see continued volume on these ETFs. So $1 trillion market cap, I think it could go even higher. People don't realize a lot of these institutions are also looking past Bitcoin now, looking past Ethereum now. So what are they going to jump into next? I think Solana will do good in the long term as well, but I think XRP is going to outperform all of them. BlackRock will not sit back and just watch. That BlackRock XRP ETF is coming. XRP has a nice ring to it. After today's volume, and you see it right here, daily average scenario, $245 million in inflows for one ETF fund. Times 12 ETF funds, you're looking at $2.9 billion in XRP daily net inflow. 100x daily market cap multiplier. And all of a sudden, you're looking at $294 billion. And that's in the short term. Do you honestly think BlackRock is just going to sit back and watch this happen? XRP right now already outperformed the rest on day one. You think they're not going to capitalize on this? Absolutely, they're going to. And once BlackRock files for their spot XRP ETF, that's it. You're going to see the price spike very quick because retail FOMO is going to amp up when that happens. How do you turn something from being a token into money? XRP has done it. Take a listen to Galaxy CEO Mike Novogratz.
How do you turn something from being a token into money? It's a really, really complicated and difficult. So far, we've had a few that have done it. XRP has done it, and that surprised everybody, right? Because
did it surprise you?
It did, and listen. We're a big owner of XRP, the company, but the token, because I had all the same reasons everyone else. It was less decentralized. It was not a true blockchain. You can all the criticisms at XRP. It missed something important. They built a fierce community of people that believed in their narrative and turned it into money. And for them, it's money.
XRP is a digital currency. I worded that wrong. It's a bridge currency. So think about XRP moving anything of value. It can also be looked at as money. It could be looked at as digital gold for banks. All those narratives have been talked about multiple times in the past. But at the end of the day, XRP holders are going to become their own bank. They're going to be spending their XRP the same way that they spend money in the long term. I think all it takes is that institutional adoption, and that's going to lead to mass retail adoption. It's also going to lead to XRP rising as the world's bridge currency. But the reason I wanted to talk about what happened with the ETF today in this video, I wanted to explain it better than everybody else does. People are giving excuses. Oh, well, it's Bitcoin dumping, and that did play a factor in it. But it goes even deeper. I want to give you an idea on where it's going to go from here. Because those over-the-counter sales, now we know that's going to happen. But what happens when there's none left to sell over the counter? I mean, a lot of it's locked up in Ripple's escrow, and you got to wait for those monthly unlocks to happen. So I think this is going to lead to scarcity in the end. I also think at some point you're going to see these ETFs like Canary and others, they're going to end up buying some XRP on the exchanges. And I think as people are selling, a lot of these ETFs are going to be swallowing up that XRP. You're going to have people panic selling on red days, and you're going to see these ETFs swallowing up that XRP at the same time. But that's what I see coming. And even Grok explains it, how even though these are over-the-counter sales, they might not affect the price of XRP on day 1 or day 2, but all of a sudden it will start to affect the price of XRP either way. You're taking XRP out of circulation. That's what matters, because the more and more XRP that leaves circulation, it all leads to the same thing in the end. That's scarcity and demand. And until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.